Hello, and today you find me at the eastern end of the Kent Downs line at what should be an international station, but at the moment isn't. Welcome to Ashford International. And you can find Ashford International at the eastern end of the Kent Downs line. Ashford International Railway Station, as it's now known, has had a very varied past. It was opened as Ashford in 1842 as a temporary terminus for the South Eastern Railway's line to Dover, although within the next 10 years connections to Canterbury, Folkestone and Hastings would be made. It had 2 platforms with 2 through lines with wooden buildings on both platforms. Around half a dozen goods sidings were placed alongside 4 carriage sidings which were covered. Over the next 60 years, more and more sidings, carriage and even locomotive sheds were placed around the station, and as you can see in this map, it covered quite a lot of land. When the Southern Railway took over in 1923, plans were put in place to change the look of the station. Many of the canopies were replaced, and in 1927 a newer large brick engine shed with at least 10 tracks was planned as part of a new depot. The entire project involved a lot of work, and this eventually opened in 1932. Nothing much changed until the early 1960s, when major changes would occur. A positive was that electric turntables installed in the yard in 1962. However, sweeping changes were to happen to the station itself. Both station buildings were demolished along with the arched road bridge. This did however mean that the bay lines could be extended to form through loops. All of this and electrification came to Ashford as well at this time, including the depot. The Ashford Works site saw electrification, which meant steam would eventually leave in 1963. This site would continue in one form or another up until 1978, when it was shut. However, the maintenance depot remained open. 1985 saw the Channel Tunnel Bill, which earmarked Ashford to be a key contributor. However, initially the plan was to have the international station on the outskirts of the town. But plans approved in 1992 showed that platforms 3 and 4 Ashford would be converted to international platforms, with a bespoke building being built next to the station to the south. The new international station building opened in January 1996, with a new building for the domestic side soon after. Unfortunately for Ashford, the 2020 pandemic would see international services stop at Ashford, and at time of filming, no firm date is being talked about for them to return. And well, the exterior of Ashford International, still called International, even though there are currently no international services stopping here, and that's something which I'll talk about in a little while. There's a little taxi rank here, and 2 entrances to the station, one there on the right. I'm going to take this one on the left, and let's see what's inside. Okay, then once you've entered Ashford International, you'll come across on your left-hand side here some information posters, the onward travel information board, which always seems to be about at these stations, isn't it? There is a Costa coffee, and there's your gate line, and just over there your booking office. Quite a light and airy station. This was remodelled for the international services. This is obviously the domestic services section, and I'll have a little bit of a chat about the international services, or lack of, in just a moment. Seating area there, and then the exit back out into the taxi rank and bus station area. And here's a better look at the booking office, and there's loads and loads of departure boards there to help you. Let's go through the gate line and down towards the platform areas. Okay, so now if you exit that gate line, you'll find an assistance point there and staff only places, lots of information leaflets and a southeastern map. There is a Starbucks coffee on platforms 1 and 2, I might investigate that in a moment. There's some lovely pictures here along the way as you go down. All there for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. And it's nice to see that they've kept this here. I mean, that obviously was a few years ago now, but it does brighten up this, what would otherwise be a pretty drab walkway down into the platform areas. Covers both sides. There we go. I think that's quite nice. Brightens up what will be, as I say, a quite drab little walkway down into the platform area. So, well, where we go. Anyway, carry on down. You've got platforms 5 and 6, obviously left and right there. signage here, or platform information boards. And there's also a lift. I'm going to carry on down all the way down here. Quite a light and very well lit area here, even though it's a subway. It is nice to see it very well lit. Obviously, sometimes you can get these walkways which are a little bit drab, and you don't really want to walk down them. But there's plenty of security, and I think that was helped by the fact that it was an international station, and everyone's hoping it will become an international station again. You can go for that's another gate line, and that would have been the gate line through into the now abandoned at the moment international services area. Obviously you can't go any further than this, but that would have been your exit into the international services area. Let's go up onto platforms 1 and 2 and have a little look around and see what's on offer up here. And as soon as you come up those stairs on platforms 1 and 2, there's a southern service here that goes down to Eastbourne. This station is shared between Southern and South Eastern. Here is a waiting room and also a nicely convenient Starbucks. There's not many Starbucks around. There is one at Chatham, which is quite nice, but I will obviously get a coffee from there before I carry on my journey. But as you can see, you can get some very good views. This is a view eastbound, and now the view up westbound. Great for any sort of photography and videography, although I would say make sure you get permission come to this station. They do seem to be a little bit preoccupied with security here, and so well they should be. It used to be an international station. So just ask, make sure you see the station supervisor, and I'm sure they'll be able to accommodate you, and once they're aware of what you're doing. So anyway, that Southern service is just about to leave. And that's on its way to Eastbourne. Class 171 there. And I have covered some of that area down to Rye. A very nice line indeed. As you can see here, lift away out and international trains, and indeed this was an international station. Eurostar trains did used to stop here, but unfortunately in recent history that has been taken away from the town, which is a real shame. There are plans afoot to hopefully bring it back, and I hope that is the case, because Ashford is a very vibrant town now. It really relied on the fact it had an international service, and some businesses indeed came here because of that. So let's hope that these services do return in the very near future. Okay, that's platforms 1 and 2. Let's go along and see what the other platforms can offer. Okay, then going along to platforms 5 and 6, and look here, another coffee room. Not a Starbucks, but still very welcome. Let's get up these stairs and have a look at platforms 5 and 6. And as soon as you get to the top of those stairs, you'll see a departure board and that coffee room offering breakfast, sandwiches and cakes. And there you go, looking over across at platforms 1, 2, 3 and 4. And platforms 3 and 4 used to be the international platforms. And there's another look at the international station. Let's just hope that they see a little bit of sense really and bring back international services to this part of Kent. It was much used, and as with Ebbsfleet International, which also has had its international services curtailed, it would just be nice to see at least 2 or 3 trains a day stop here on their way to Paris, Brussels or indeed Amsterdam. At the moment there is a Class 395 Javelin here on its way to St Pancras International, awaiting its departure. One thing of note here on platforms 5 and 6, these lovely Kent in Bloom planters here.
Please Eastern service to Dover Priory. Calling at Western Hangar, Sandling, Folkestone Western Hangar should board the front 5 coaches. Passengers for Sandling and Dover Priory should board the front 8 coaches. There are usually many seats available on this train. Platform 6 for the 10:25 Southeastern service to Dover Priory.
At time of filming, passenger services are provided by Southeastern using Class 375, 377 and 395 electric multiple units, and Southern use Class 171 electric multiple units. As you can appreciate, Ashford International is still a very, very busy station. I mean, there's trains almost to everywhere around in the southeastern part of Kent. This one in particular going to Dover Priory, Sandwich, and as I've already said, this Class 395 on its way to St Pancras International. It's well served by lifts as well, and overall is a very good, accessible station. These statistics for Ashford International are that it opened in 1842. It currently, at time of filming, has 10 trains per hour, with more during the rush hour, including Cannon Street services. And the entry and exit figures for 2023-2024 were 3,510,838. Ashford International is a fantastic station on the eastern side of the Kent Downs line. It's a real shame that the international services are not stopping here at the moment as of 2025, and let's hope that can be rectified soon. If you want to come down here to spot, I'd advise getting in contact with Southeastern beforehand and get permission. It's always a good idea to do so. Having said that, it's an excellent place to spot. There's quite a few freight that comes through here during the day, and views up and down the line are fantastic. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, comment and subscribe. And if you can, get out there, get on the railway and see where it takes you. Thanks very much for watching.
This train has 8 coaches. There are usually many seats available on this train.